Toe. Have you ever wondered why a specific group of people, making up just a tiny fraction of the global population, seems to consistently hold the keys to the world's financial power? We are often told that success is just a matter of luck or blind privilege. But if you look closer, you will see a systematic pattern of thinking that has been passed down through generations. Today, we are going to break down 4 specific wealth codes that the Jewish community uses to master the game of money, codes that usually go unspoken in average households. The first code requires us to completely shatter the cultural programming that tells us money is somehow evil, or that there is dignity in poverty. In many traditional cultures, and perhaps in the household you grew up in, there was a subtle prejudice against merchants and business people, as if selling things was a dirty profession. But the Jewish mindset flips this entirely, viewing the pursuit of wealth not as greed, but as a righteous obligation and a tool for good. Teach their children that money provides the freedom to live life on your own terms and, more importantly, the power to help your community and fund the causes you believe in. You have to stop apologizing for wanting to get rich and start treating business with the respect it deserves. Consider the story of John D. Rockefeller, the oil magnate who became the wealthiest man in modern history. Even when he was just starting out, he didn't let his ego stop him from doing the small, unglamorous work. He famously carried luggage and did menial tasks just to earn his first single dollar, because he understood that every massive fortune is built on the foundation of small, legitimate opportunities. This leads us to the second code, which addresses a fear that paralyzes millions of talented people, the fear of leadership. Most of us are taught to be polite, to step back, and to avoid being bossy, often due to a misplaced sense of humility or a fear of losing face. But in Jewish education, children are encouraged to develop leadership qualities from a very young age, because they understand that you cannot accumulate wealth if you are always waiting for permission. Leadership in this context doesn't mean barking orders at people. It simply means being the person that others are willing to follow. Whether you are managing a small family budget or running a massive corporation, the principle is the same. However, there is a paradox here that most people miss. To be a great leader, you must first learn how to be a great follower. You have to be willing to start at the bottom, sweeping the floors or filing the paperwork. To understand the machinery of the business before you can direct it, once you master the ability to influence others and guide them toward a shared goal, you unlock a level of leverage that hard work alone can never achieve. Now, the third code is perhaps the most technical, but it is the closest thing we have to a crystal ball. Learning how to predict the future. Few can anticipate where the market is going before it gets there. You effectively print your own money. But how do you actually do that without being a magician? The formula is actually quite scientific. You must study history, identify the recurring patterns, and then analyze the cause and effect relationships. In the world of business, this means keeping meticulous records and analyzing data to spot the cycles, like knowing exactly when your customers buy and when they hibernate. If you are an investor, this means looking beyond the hype and studying the charts to see where the smart money is actually flowing. You need to watch the trading volume and price action to see when the institutional giants are quietly accumulating assets before the price skyrockets. By understanding the laws of history, you realize that everything moves in cycles. And what has happened before is almost guaranteed to happen again in a different form. This brings us to the fourth and perhaps most profound code, the realization that learning is the ultimate form of productivity. There is a striking statistic that the average Jewish person reads roughly 64 books a year, a number that dwarfs the average in almost every other demographic. They do not view education as a temporary phase that ends when you graduate from university. They view it as a lifelong survival strategy. This deep respect for knowledge comes from a history of displacement, where they learned that material possessions can be confiscated, but what is in your head can never be taken away from you. True, wealth is not just the cash in your bank account. It is the accumulated wisdom that allows you to rebuild that wealth if you ever lose it. But reading is only the first step, because true intelligence is not just memorizing facts, but the ability to question them. You must cultivate a healthy skepticism and ask why constantly, transforming raw information into actionable wisdom. You combine these for codes respecting money, embracing leadership, predicting cycles, and relentless learning, you stop playing the game of luck and start playing the game of strategy. It is time to stop looking at the wealthy with envy and start looking at them with a notepad, because the secrets are right there in plain sight. Take these principles, apply them to your life starting today, and watch how your reality begins to shift.